Hello, you're joining me, Hunter, here at the Harry Edwards Foundation, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce Jeanette Wilson, who is staying with us at the moment and guiding some incredible workshops and retreats with us here. So you are a medium, psychic, Reiki practitioner, and you work with spirit doctors.
That's right.
That's quite the CV.
It is. It's a full CV.
And what is it you're doing here exactly? Because there's lots of different bits.
There's lots of different bits. So my passion is teaching people to heal and really fulfilling Harry's legacy. I mean, a lot of people, not everybody, have heard about Harry. Harry's legacy isn't only this fabulous building and the culture that's here and the community, but it's telling us that healing is possible at that higher level. And I really do believe it's time now that, we roll that out in terms of what we're providing in the community, so that our healers are healing at the same level that Harry did. And so that's what I see my role as primarily doing.
Yeah, good role to have.
Thank you, Harry.
Yes, and you looked through all the archives, didn't you, as well? And
I
really looked at, because Jeanette's sort of reconditioned our healing diploma, which is amazing. I've seen the amazing work you've done with that. How much was there to do?
A lot.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good content there. They've got excellent trainers here already. But we really wanted to bring in more of Harry, Harry's philosophy, the way that he would heal, but still stay within, what we need to do for accreditation. So there was a lot to do.
Yeah.
And really make it more interactive on videos rather than stuff you've got to read. We wanted to make it better for the students.
Much better.
So no matter what their learning style was, it was easy.
Yeah.
And then that leaves us free on the residential weekends to just practice skill development, because all the knowledge is delivered via the online media.
Yeah. And obviously Harry wasn't a trained healer as such. He'd sort of developed and found this skill helping people in the army. How good was he at writing things down? Like hints and tips and notes on healing.
Huge. Prolific writer, loads of books. I can't even say I've read all of Harry's books. I've read at least 10 of them. But I understand that in the archives down below, there's all kinds of notes when he was on his travels, when he was doing speeches to different groups of people. So, and I find that myself, I've already written several books. In fact, I was trying to count how many books have I written. It's quite a few now. 4 have been published, some have been self-published. But you do, because when you're working with spirit, you're like an open channel.
Yeah.
And so you're bringing through information, not just for the people in front of you, but for the wider world.
Yeah. And obviously you're quite famous now.
I'm world famous in New Zealand. World famous in New Zealand.
You are. Even the slightest tap on Google, up she comes. Which is amazing. But that's quite a journey. Where did all this start for you? Because I understand it wasn't like a teenage thing.
It wasn't. So I didn't see any fairies or spirits as a child. There were only 2 instances where you'd consider me psychic. I once knew I was going to have a maths test, and I did really well because I knew I was going to have it. And the other time I knew my parents were moving house. But other than that, my whole life up until the age of 31, nothing out of the ordinary. And then at 31, I started seeing my granddad, started seeing my grandma, started seeing spirits for other people.
How did you find that? Wasn't that a bit...
scary.
Yeah?
I mean, seeing grandma and granddad, fine, but seeing spirits for other people, and when they talk, it's just noise. You put your fingers in your ear and you can't stop the noise because the sound isn't out there, it's in here.
Oh, God.
That was really scary. And I reckon a lot of people end up, going down the mental health route or on a psychiatric ward because they've just opened up psychically. But there's nothing in our culture really, whether it's here or New Zealand, to really support people on that journey.
Yeah, when it's purely authentic and it's happening, we want to develop those skills, not be terrified and numb it with medication. Obviously, if your doctor's given you drugs, please take them. But generally, you're right. There must be a lot of people who have a natural skill.
Absolutely, and a lot of it can happen, in teenage years. And what would a parent do? A parent will probably take their child off to the doctor, and the doctor will probably pronounce the child as having a mental health issue, bipolar, schizophrenia, when maybe it's a spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
And so I think we need to consider both. Just as you said, we shouldn't take people off medication. In a situation like that, you may want a medical assessment, but also get a spiritual assessment, so that we have the best of both worlds.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've had it before, like when I was young, I wouldn't see spirit or hear spirit, but I would have these like overwhelming like desire to do something. Like I remember walking through the woods and something said, stop, turn left, straight on through there. And I couldn't let it go, couldn't
Yeah.
let it. And I walked about 4 miles and found my mother's missing dog
Oh,
that had
wow.
passed. And I walked in a dead
Oh,
straight line through the forest. And I couldn't, and I kept going, don't be ridiculous, it's getting dark, you're late. And I could not ignore
yeah.
that
And that's just what
sensation.
it's like. And also, how many kids were scared of something in the wardrobe or something under the bed? You know, and we sort of dismiss that as that's the child, but is the child sensing something of a lower vibration? You know, can be, can't it?
Yeah. And for you, when you see or hear spirit, what does it look like?
If I say first what a ghost looks like, because I've only ever seen 2 ghosts, and I've only seen the ghosts since I've been a medium, and I was terrified both times.
You think
And
you'd
it's
be
like,
used
and
to
I'm a medium. Yeah. But they were both static figures, grey. There was no colour. So when I see spirit, if it's like my granddad was inside of me, and Grandma came through, it was Grandma's head on like an opaque bottle of white light with a very long neck, a bit like a Cluedo figure. Remember the old board
Yes.
go Cluedo?
I know exactly what
Like
you mean.
that. And then she came into my body with Granddad. It's more you're aware of them at a distance from you. And when I'm working as a medium, I would get your father. If your father was in spirit world, he'd be on your right shoulder, and your mum on your left, and then going back the grandparents, brothers and sisters alongside, cousins alongside, recent passings in front. You know, so there's sort of a way they present themselves.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's necessarily they present themselves that way to all mediums, but that's how it works for me.
Yeah.
And, you know, you've got different abilities. You've got the ability to see, clairvoyance. Well, clairvoyance is actually quite tricky because our range of vision is only really infrared to ultraviolet. It's very rare for us to see something. A lot of people these days are picking up things on their cameras, you know, little
Yes. Yeah.
balls of light or
The
figures.
orbs. Yeah.
The last workshop, I'll show it you later, but we've just got a little figure on there that it's like, well, what is that? And sometimes we don't know. Clairaudience, that's a wider range. And it's one thing to hear it inside your head, a different outside. If it's outside your head, it's usually a higher guide, a teacher guide. And then you've got clairsentience, which is where you feel that what you experienced.
Okay.
That was clairsentience. Now that's my highest sense. And so you just feel something. And then there's also claircognizance, which is just knowing. And part of your experience will be partly claircognizance. You just knew you had to do it.
Do you ever get it where, like, this can sound strange, maybe not to you, where someone is telling me something and I know it's a lie,
Yeah.
and I don't just feel it, I can tell them exactly where they were and what they were doing.
Yeah.
And that freaks people out.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not true at all, you were there. And they're like, how do you know? I said, I just know it.
Yeah.
And I
And so
felt it,
that will be a little bit of clairvoyance as well, if you can actually see where they were.
like a video
But
in your
it's
head.
insight. Yeah. It is. It's like a video in your head.
Yeah.
And some people have their screen here, and some people have their screen further back. And you've got to find where your screen is. Because if you're holding your awareness in the wrong place, practice as much as you like, you're not going to see anything. And I will be running some training on that for people.
It'd be fun. When's that? Just
August.
August.
It's a weekend, and one of the things that's happened for me is I haven't had any formal training by anybody like Arthur Findlay or the SNU or Stansted Hall, because I've been in New Zealand and because Spirit have never guided me there. So I've been taught directly by Spirit. So the way I teach is the way Spirit taught me. And there are different levels. So if you want to talk to Spirit World, you need to go to the 5th level. So as a group, we go up to the 5th level, and the 5th level's got like a golden energy. And in that place, you can usually see your loved ones. Yeah. And then we can go up to the 6th and then up to the 7th. And the 7th is where we'll find more teacher guides that might be useful to us in terms of, you know, what do I do with my life? Where are my talents? Where are my gifts? Giving somebody a message that is, you know, of significance. You know, you actually feel, that's what I needed to know right now.
Yeah. And so going back again, like, so you're tootling along in life,
Yeah.
What were you doing?
I was a bank manager for Lloyd's Bank.
Bank manager. So you sat there one
And
day.
I started seeing dead people.
You're like, what? That must have been really freaky.
It was. It freaked out my line manager because I went back saying, hey, I can see dead people.
That'll do
And
it.
he reported me to personnel. So then I had to interview in personnel. But by that time, because I was real and genuine, I was actually working for managers of the bank and area directors of the bank that approached me. And because I'd been accurate, these senior guys in the bank said, just leave her alone. She's fine. She's not making it up. This is a genuine ability she has.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then what was the step from like, right, I'm not going to do banking anymore. I'm going to make this my life's work.
Yeah.
That must have been.
It was an easy decision to make and a hard one, both at the same time, because this is the way I saw it. On my deathbed, would I regret not exploring this? Would I regret not being a bank manager? And I wasn't going to regret not being a bank manager. So I said to the universe, the all that is, whatever you believe is out there, that higher power, okay, I want to explore this. And so then I was one more year working for the bank while I started developing my ability. And I developed my ability by working for free, for friends, for family, mostly as a medium rather than a healer. I found that the information I was bringing through was consistently accurate. The only problem I had was that I couldn't sit and do it. I had to lay down. And I had to hold the person's hand.
Oh, well, that kind of makes sense.
So I started by laying down, holding a person's hand, because I didn't know how to relax myself without laying down. Then I had to learn to relax, sit in a chair, stand up. And so there's a certain amount of things you've got to learn. You don't want to be in your head thinking, is this true? Is it not true? You just want to become a clear channel. Yeah. So that's why we run workshops, because in that workshop setting, you've got a safe setting where I can show you things to quieten the mind, tools that actually work very, very quickly. And it's so much better than reading it in a book. You know, you can't develop this from a book.
No,
and I personally don't like teaching this online. I think you need an environment, and we're better than here. The energy is so high, it makes it easy. If you're going to develop your psychic abilities, come here.
Yeah, amen to that. And you touched on working with healing people as well as clairvoyance. How different is healing to clairvoyance?
Very. Clairvoyance really is 5th level, and so it's our ancestors, you know, our loved ones that want to communicate and let us know that they're okay because they don't want us suffering. Your healing, it's much higher level guides, and it's actually more important. I'll see if I can explain this with as few words as possible. There are 3 aspects to us. One is the physical body. Yeah, it's got a birth, it's got a death, it's got a beginning and an end. Then there's us, our thoughts and our feelings. And our thoughts and our feelings are even more transient than the body. We can be happy 1 minute, confident, and then into depths of despair the next minute because somebody dies or something goes wrong. And then there's yourself as spirit, which is infinite, vast, can never be destroyed. So those 3 parts of the self are not equal. And we often get caught up in our thoughts and our feelings, in our physical body, and we're neglecting the spirit. And when we start paying attention to the spirit, we realize that the spirit can affect the thoughts and the emotions, and it can affect the physical. So we need to be giving the majority of our attention to spirit. But for years, we've been told, oh, no, shouldn't do that. Well, yes, we should, because it's the deepest and most profound part of us, and it's the bit that doesn't change.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
And what form of healing do you teach?
All right, so I was trained with the National Federation of Spiritual Healers in spiritual healing. And then guides came in, advanced guides, and said, right, now we're going to teach you to really heal. So they've developed what I call spirit surgery, or healing with guides, or healing with spirit doctors. It's the same kind of thing. So I'm not the healer, I'm the instrument. An advanced being, 7th level, will usually come through, may have been a physician in his previous lifetime, maybe a saint, especially Roman Catholic saints. They come through and they do the work.
God,
and I just witness. I just give a running commentary. I just say,
how much of it, because obviously you've had no like formal medical training and you know like basic anatomy and physiology, but how surprising is it when you start talking medical lingo? Do you speak in like quite detailed?
Yeah, sometimes the person needs that and sometimes they don't. I think a lot of the labels that we give to conditions get in the way. My guides really like just working with symptoms. Where is the pain? Where is the discomfort? Where is the lack of movement? You know, and we just deal with the symptom. As soon as you give it a label like cancer or rheumatoid arthritis or fibromyalgia, that's not a thing. It's like Jeanette, Hunter, not a thing. They're labels, they're not who we are. They don't really describe who we are in any way. So those labels actually aren't useful. So we narrow it down to symptoms and are you feeling better? The person's feeling better.
And with the Healing with Spirit Doctors workshops you're running,
Yes.
is that for people to find and tune into their own spirit doctors?
That's right. They will commonly work with my team at first because they're very experienced, but you can develop your own team. And my team aren't exclusive to me. They'll sort of work with anybody. Yeah, because, you know, how many minutes in a day are they working through me? They don't sleep, they don't eat, they don't have mortgages, they don't have families as such. They have a spiritual connection with people, but they're not raising kids. So they've got a lot of time. Yeah, whereas you and I, we can only do so many healings in a day. And so there's a lot more spirit doctors than there are people that are doing the work.
Someone working with one of yours? You're like, he works with me a lot.
No, so on my workshops, I'll see my students working with some of my guides. Yes.
Do you ever get jealous?
No, not at all. No. Yeah, because once you realise we're all part of the oneness, we want everybody to thrive.
It's all the highest good.
Because, you know, if one of my students can go beyond me, then great, I can go study with them in years to come. You know, if we try and, you know, spiritual jealousy is an awful thing.
Yes.
I've seen it destroy a lot of groups, development groups, within churches. It's a terrible, terrible thing.
Yes.
We should delight when somebody does better than us.
Mudita, best feeling in the world, joy of someone else's success.
Absolutely.
It's so pure.
Yeah. And I reckon I'm the Roger Bannister of healing at the moment. You know, remember Roger Bannister when he ran that 4-minute mile and then all of a sudden other people could do a 4-minute mile?
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah.
You know? And so I reckon for this generation, just like Harry did before, I'm showing people what's possible with healing. That opens the mind. Then you get the training. Then you're able to do it. And then we'll have lots of people able to work at this high level. Yeah. And that will then transform medicine.
Yeah, let's hope. I mean, I've had the pleasure of watching one of your demonstrations, and they're pretty epic. I think if you're, it's like, whoa, if you're new to it, are there some evenings where people can just come and observe and see?
Yes, absolutely.
Which ones are they?
Yeah, so look for healing breakthroughs. There's quite a few still happening. So that you can come along, you can just sit in the audience and watch and experience, feel the energy. Or you can put your hand up and say, yeah, I'd like a healing, and come to the front and see what happens for you.
Fun. Excellent. Well, if you're new to it all, like, oh, I don't know, come to that one. Come on. And then if say you're already a healer, so you Harry Edwards or Reiki or whatever, what's the best one to come to if you're like, oh, I like the sound of you as a tutor?
Right,
what's the best one?
So first of all, go check me out on YouTube. So on YouTube, I'm at With the Curl Around, Jeanette Wilson Healer. There's over 1,000 videos on there. You'll see amazing things like Connor, that was paralysed, that isn't anymore.
Is that the guy in the wheelchair?
Yeah.
He gets up and walks off.
Yeah, he does.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So close.
I'm now making a joke. I'm saying to my audiences, if you enjoyed tonight's show, what I want you to do is when you go away and people ask you, how was it? Say it was awful. In fact, it was so bad that the guy in a wheelchair got up and walked out.
Well, it seemed to work.
It did. Yeah, there's videos of people with Parkinson's, all sorts. Frozen shoulders, bad backs, yeah, you name it. There's lots on there. And, you know, it's not that I don't put out the ones that don't work. You'll see I put out all my videos other than the ones where somebody decides, oh no, I don't want it to go public.
Fair enough. And what is the reason you think when it doesn't work? Because obviously it won't work all the time.
Yeah, it can be there's something within the person that doesn't want it fixed, especially if their condition is keeping them off work and they're on a benefit. But
interesting.
But coming back
Weaponized
to
incompetence.
That's right. Coming back to what you asked, which is the best workshop, because I realised I've missed that. The best workshop, if you're an experienced healer and you want to get to my level, come on Healing with the Spirit Doctors. There's one happening in July. That's a weekend workshop, very end of July. And there's one happening in September, but the September one is midweek. So if you can, get on the July one.
Yeah, perfect. And I mean, you've wonderfully littered our diary with events and workshops in 26 and coming up to 27 now, isn't it? We're beginning to get you in for that. So go on our website, have a good look. and YouTube Jeanette. Have a good look at the videos. I mean, you've done some incredible healing work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not me doing the healing.
You know what I mean.
And that's what I'm teaching, is you can learn to be an instrument for spirit with no previous experience.
Yeah, that's exactly the same as Harry said. Yeah, everyone can be a healer.
Everybody can do
if
it.
you learn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for spending the
My
time.
pleasure.
I know you're busy doing all your healings. Oh, well, thank you so much. And do click on the links below. Check out Jeanette and all her lovely retreats, workshops, and events. And see you guys soon. Bye.